Welcome back to Kevin Christian's channel. September the 11th. Respects are paid in spades to all of those. And tonight we have some tall cans and some Orient shitters. We have the full tier system of the Orient dive watch hierarchy, starting with the Ray II, which is a beautiful watch, and this is an entry-level watch, and it is wonderful in many ways. You can pick this watch up for about £100 for an fully in-house mechanical 200-meter diver. This Ray II features the F6522 caliber, which hacks and handwinds. I would display this to you with this pathetic tiny crown, which is one of the drawbacks of this watch. It's too thin and its beveling is too floppy, and it's very difficult to deal with. Here we go. She hacks, and it's counter-directional. She winds. So she does all of that. It features a mineral crystal, but at this price point, you know, what do you expect, you fucking tranny bastards? And the case is lovely, and I will share some differentials with the Kamasu, which shares the case, but has slightly better beveling on the flanks, which are high polished. The top of the case is brushed, and it's a lovely piece. And the case is, well, look, what's this? What is it? It's a mechanical digital tool, and it's got a new battery so we can display sizes and dimensions. And so let's have a look. It's a 13.4mm case, and it has, well, it's quite difficult to do this on camera. It's a lot harder than I'd anticipated, to be honest. It's not that big, it's actually less. It's about 42mm in size, and it has a 22mm lug width, tapering away to 20, and that's one of the drawbacks of this watch. I think a watch as delicate as this should have been served with a 20mm band, and the band is not a favorite of mine. This band is not great. Pins are featured, but no folding has been detected by me, and that's fully saluted. A fold-over stamped piece of shit metal double deployant is featured, and unfortunately you will find hollow end links. And now we all know that hollow end links are the creator of the jingle jangle. The jingly jangly nature of this watch is unprecedented and not saluted by me, but £100, really? What do you expect? We have mineral crystal, a lovely matte black dial, and you do get applied indices, which you can see there, and an applied logo. The Orient writing is printed, but the logo is applied. It's hard to show, but it's applied, and it's quite lovely. A framed date window is also featured with a white date wheel. It's lovely. Now, one of the main complaints of this watch that lots of limp-wristed twerps are complaining about is the difficulty of actioning the bezel, which is quite clicky, and you know, it feels good, but it's quite clicky and it's quite hard to action. But you know, you'd have to be some kind of complete tranny to not be able to actually deal with this. But it's not perfect because the case protrudes over the bezel, so it's hard to get a grip. But, that's a small oversight, and I can live with it. Of course, you'll also feature this lovely, what do you call that? A trapezoid at the 12 o'clock, which is nice, and you'll also find that on the Triton, which I'll review later, but... So that's quite a different thing. Some people compare it to the sub. It's about 1/50th of the price, but it does compare favourably. High polished flanks, a lovely case back, which features the Orient. Can you see them? The dolphins. I don't know what they're doing there, but they're the dolphins. They're very nice, and this watch is extremely high quality. And before I carry on with this review, I must thank my good friend from Tranny City, Salisbury, Mr. June, Egghead Freak, for lending in 3 of these watches. All shitters, but let it be known. He's saluted by me, and I respect him. Lovely handset, a sword hand. Lume is generous, and a blood red-tipped second hand, which is a really nice feature. So here we have the Ray II, a top-notch shitter for all of us plebs. Second stage, well, here we are, Budweiser. What do we have? Moving up a tier. Welcome to the Kamasu, named after the infamous predatory Japanese barracuda, a fish which will sever your testes immediately upon seeing you in the water. And it is remarkably similar to the Ray II. Add about £150 to the cost. The cases are actually identical, as you can see. It's hard to show, but if you look closely, the Kamasu has some beveling on the flanks, and it's just slightly better done, and obviously the bezel is nicer. Coin edging is slightly deeper and thicker. But again, this one features some hollow end links. Same stamped piece of shit. Get rid of it clasp. And no diver's extension as the Ray II also features. Disgusting. But it is extremely pretty. It has a sunburst sort of green emerald shimmering dial, and this one has a much more pleasant dial, bezel to action. Easier to move. There's no problem. The grip is there. And as I can say for all Orients I've ever known or seen, there's never been any issue with misalignment. Are you listening, Uncle Seiko? Of course, we are featuring a triangulated 12 o'clock marker, and the teeth, which are supposed to resemble the teeth of this barracuda fish, as seen on other videos, and the same crown guards and tiny crown, which is this is not a thing that I'm making up. It's very difficult. It's very thin, and the slotting is not very sharp, so you literally have to use your nails to undo it. It's not saluted by me or anybody else. You get the same printed Orient automatic water resistant 20 bar, but this time you get 20 bar. On this one you get 200 meters. I don't know, it's the same thing, but and both of these watches are They're not ISO certified, but they're JIS standard certification for a Class 1 dive watch, so they are guaranteed to survive at depths of up to 200 meters, which is quite good, considering most of us are saturation divers who spend hundreds of hours a month at depths of up to, well, most saturation divers are up to 150, 200 meters maximum, so we're quite happy with that. Same hand, same second hand, different handset. This time we have more sword-featured hands, and what a lovely bezel. The bezel font is saluted. Excellent watch. I would personally, if you were in a market for an entry level, spend a bit more and buy this one, because it's just better. It is. So, from this point onwards, we are entering the realm of semi-high specs divers, and we're going to feature the Triton, the baby OSD. And here where movements will be moving up to the 40N5A. This watch is really great, and we'll have a look at its specs. We're featuring a 14mm case by well, it's a bit difficult. I'm quite pissed, but it's saying 43. It's 22mm lugs. The band does not taper. It's 22mm band, and I must say that all these Orients are featuring solid links, pin and collar system. Stamp piece of shit, unfortunately. Again, you're getting full micro adjusts here, as you are with the other two. But with this watch, you do get a fully retarded diver's extension, which is pretty crap. It's similar to, same as Seiko, as you get on turtles and etc. It's quite good, but crap. Get rid of it! But this time you get the emblazonment, the crest. Lions hugging the crest. Fully engraved. And you get, of course, the etched. You get it with these. The etched crowns. Quite nice. But this watch is really a cut above the other two. The bezel is on a different level altogether. It's just as if butter had been heated under the grill. It's slathered on the toast. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a lovely bezel. And of course, you get the power reserve indicator. Unfortunately, this little rubber gasket thing somewhat ruins everything, but the crown is a lot thicker, easier to action, and that is superb. Everything's applied, apart from the printed words here. This is an excellent watch for around 300 to 400 pounds. It really is. It's a brilliant timepiece, which I love. Now, moving up to the higher top tier of Orient timepieces, and this is the Saturation Diver. This watch is no longer made. It's been out of production for about 3 or 4 years now. And this watch costs £1,000. Now they're going for around £1,500. It features the same movement as the Triton, the 40N5A. Not the best movement in the world. Hacks and hand winds. But this watch is not applicable for noodle-wristed trannies. Anyone with a wrist under 7 inches need not apply. This is one of the best watches ever released in the history of mankind on its factory strap. The bracelet, the clasp, is shared with the MM300. It is a titanium clasp. It's exactly the same one that you get with the Marine Master 300. It's the same clasp with its ratcheting extension. Fantastic for micro adjust. And the watch head itself is a bulky, bulbous monolith, a true behemoth. The General launched in, I think it's 2006, and featured a non-hacking caliber 46-4NA and a 60-click bezel. This is the Gen 2, and this one, my favorite personally, came out in 2010. Improved caliber 40N5A, which hacks and unwinds with 120 quick bezel. This is the ELO 2001B, the black dial variant. You can get orange, white, and etc. And the Gen 3 that came out after this is the same, but it had the skeletonized, like the black hands. But this is just an absolute creation. Mother. Solar kinetic quad faggots need not apply. This is just a true retard. And I'll do now a quick wrist show. Quite drunk. It's difficult to review things and make, accurate imaginings of things. But look at that. My wrist is beefed. So, it fits. But what a watch it is. And here we go. We'll try some others on. It's just so you can get a feel for these guys. We'll go back down to the Triton. Slightly smaller. I wear it on the right. I'm a left-handed person. That's why I do that. And there we go. There is the Triton. What do you think about that? What the fuck do you think about it? Beautiful piece. Staggeringly elegant. We can all dive. And now the Kamasu. Here she is. Emerald green. The Wizard of Oz. Absolute bastard on the wrist. Too tight for me, Mr. Jun. Your noodle wrists are homo as fuck. But we'll let that one go. But what a beautiful watch. Thinner. Dressier. Lovely. And now the Ray II. Ray II is featured. There she is. Resplendent majesty. Absolutely proper. Do we love her? I think we do. Now, I've said pretty much all I can say. This unrehearsed, pissed up video, so we will go for a Lume shot. And I think we all know what's going to happen. Ready for the Lume? There we go. Now let me look at that. OSD is king. Triton not too bad. Ray II coming in quite well. So that's the end of that. Geffen salutes you all. Thanks for watching. I hope to be back soon with more videos. Stay freaky, bros.